I'd like to nominate Trustee Cook to be Chairman Pro Tem for the duration of the meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Forster? Aye. Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schenk?
Aye.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Aye.
Trustee Cook?
Aye.
President Byrne?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. So we are called to order. Would everyone please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
Forward.
one nation,
Which stands
indivisible,
in for all.
Okay. First item of business is under Assistant Village Manager, Severe Weather Preparedness Month. Oh, I'm sorry. Totally forgot that. My bad. Yeah, first item is actually citizens wishing to address the board on something other than what's on the agenda. If there's anybody who wants to talk about any subjects, we'll be happy to hear you now. Otherwise, if it's about something on the agenda, we can let you talk then. Okay. All right. Then, now, Assistant Village Manager.
Thank you, Trustee Cook. Good evening, everyone. We are delighted to have Mr. Rodriguez, Director of College and Career Readiness at Vernon Hills High School, and 3 of his students with us here tonight. On March 5th, Mr. Rodriguez and his students joined us here at the Village Hall, at Public Works, and at the Police Department to learn about the numerous career fields that exist within municipal government and how to prepare for such positions. Students heard about the political spectrum from Trustee Cook. They heard about the role of the village manager from Kevin Timoney. They heard about human resources from Kristen, community development from Andrew, finance from Tom, and perhaps the most exciting topic, municipal law, from our own village attorney, Jim Ferrolo. And I heard the students were fascinated with the 1-hour segment on zoning. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. After these presentations, students traveled to Public Works to meet Director Chris Venata and his team to learn about the numerous fields within Public Works to include engineering. And finally, students traveled to the Police Department where Chief Crease and his team greeted everybody and discussed the numerous career fields in law enforcement, provided a tour of the police campus, met many of our officers and staff, and were provided lunch. We hope the students enjoyed this experience. We have invited Mr. Rodriguez and his students to the board meeting for an opportunity to give a staff report. Each year, usually around this time, the Assistant Village Manager covers the topic of emergency preparedness. I heard the students were interested in being an Assistant Village Manager at some point, so I'm now going to turn the floor over to Mr. Rodriguez and his group of presenters to talk about their experience with us, and they can give my report. Mr. Rodriguez, if you want to approach the dais.
Thank you so much again for allowing your students in Vernon Hills High School to come out and learn about different career options and opportunities. We're excited to partner with you to help all students become informed, prepared, and empowered to pursue any career they want after high school. And the experience they had at the Village Hall, Public Works, and police departments really helps illustrate the awesome opportunities that students have right in our own village. So with that, I'll pass it over to our awesome students. We're going to give this severe weather preparedness report. All right. Thank you.
According to the Illinois Emergency Management Agency, on average, 53 tornadoes occur in Illinois each year. And from the National Weather Service, nearly 80% of all tornadoes happen from April 1st through June 30th. Most tornadoes occurring during the late afternoon and early evening hours. However, tornadoes can and do occur prior to April and can be very destructive. Other severe weather events include heavy rains, flooding incidents, and dangerous winds. Illinois ranks 4th in the United States for the most tornadoes per square mile. And knowing this information, now is the ideal time for reminders on information intended to keep ourselves, our family, and our community safe and prepared. First, emergency notification. The Village of Vernon Hills maintains a network of warning sirens to provide mass notification during emergency situations. Testing of the system happens on the first Tuesday of each month at 10 a.m., and this testing allows staff to ensure all components, including software, power, and the network and other equipment are operational. Testing and maintenance are an important part of the emergency preparedness as well.
The Village of Vernon Hills emergency warning sirens are located at the Rust-Oleum property of Hawthorn Parkway, Oakwood Road, Route 45 and Fairway Drive, Greg's Parkway west of Lakeview, and at Vernon Hills High School. In addition to notification from the village, residents are encouraged to be prepared for severe weather by taking the time to plan and prepare before severe weather arrives. Have several means for receiving notification of severe weather, to include use of weather apps on a mobile device and signing up for the village's emergency notification system, Blackboard Connect. Persons are also encouraged to identify a place to take shelter within your residence should severe weather occur. Persons are encouraged to identify reunification points for family members should disaster strike, and residents are encouraged to learn more about emergency planning by visiting websites such as ready.gov or the Red Cross, who offer tips for planning. For more information on this subject, visit vernonhills.org and enter tornado safety in the search bar.
As March is Severe Weather Preparedness Month, and as we enter the season where we may be more vulnerable to impacts of severe weather, we want to take this opportunity to encourage all residents to sign up to emergency notification, known formally as Blackboard Connect. Blackboard Connect is a system maintained by the Vernon Hills Police Department. The benefits include there is no cost, it is a free service, subscribers will receive messaging by voice, text, or email. Messages can be received at one's home or work and/or mobile phone. Residents are encouraged to visit the village website, vernonhills.org, and enter Tornado Safety or Blackboard Connect in the search bar. During the month of March and April, information on emergency notification and severe weather preparedness will be shared on village communications platforms to include the Village Voice, website, and social media, and Village's public access channel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
hold on.
Uh-oh.
I wanted to say something, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pat,
Go ahead.
can you bring those guys back,
Guys, can,
students? Okay. Don't run out that quickly. All right. I just wanted to add something. On Blackboard Direct, for example, you could get the phone call on your cell phone, but you have to register. Okay? That's still accurate, Chief?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't just get that call, that something bad has happened. And also, I was going to say, the actual, excuse me, what was the second topic we had?
You said the second topic?
Yeah.
Testing of the sirens?
Testing?
The text message thing, if you see, maybe through the automatic text message notification.
you mean after Blackboard Connect? Or before that?
Yeah, what were the three topics?
So the second topic, Mary, you may be asking about was testing of the sirens occurs monthly on the first Tuesday?
At 10 o'clock.
Okay. One thing I wanted to bring up was we have Thorguard. The students and the teacher know what Thorguard is.
Yes, they do.
Vernon Hills Athletic Complex.
What does that do?
It's a warning for thunderstorms, I believe, or lightning, or thunders,
Yeah, lightning, which is important too. How many locations do we have? At all the two golf courses and at the high school?
Do we have one at White Deer Run?
I didn't think,
I don't know one at White Deer Run. I know that the municipal golf course has one.
Right, we definitely have one at
And
the
that-
municipal
that's-
golf course and one at the athletic
so-
complex.
Yep, correct.
And maybe there's one at White Deer Run. I don't know. But that's real important, students, because if you got a bunch of kids out there and there's lightning coming, sometimes you got to clear the field and it's a sky blue day. Okay? And that's a real important system for us and other towns to have. And anyway, I'm happy that we have these systems in place because we can actually turn them on and communicate in the middle of the night. God forbid a tornado comes when we're all sleeping. Okay, it's real important. So, okay, all right, students. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Thank you.
Yeah, what is the range on that, Kevin? It's,
10 miles, I believe.
is it 10 or 16?
10, I believe.
Do you remember? Because I was thinking Kevin might know. I think it's 10. 10? Yeah, because we had it recalibrated because it was too sensitive at first, yeah.
I did the
Yeah.
ones in Hawthorn, it's 10 miles, and usually I'll do 10 miles.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice job.
Thank you again. Okay. Anybody else have a speaking part? No? Okay. Then next item would be the omnibus vote agenda. Is there a motion to approve items A through I?
The motion to approve items A through I.
Second?
We have a motion, a second. Any comments or questions? Okay. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Schenk?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Aye.
Trustee Forster?
Aye.
President Byrne?
Aye.
Chairman Pro Tem Cook?
Aye. Motion carries. No unfinished business, correct? Correct. All right, then under new business, we have approval and passage of Resolution 2025-011, a resolution approving an outdoor special event permit for Circus Vazquez, Hawthorn Mall, 122 Hawthorn South. Director Jennings, you?
Thank you. I can just do a quick introduction. You're welcome to come up, but I'll just give a quick update on the staff memo. So the village was approached by Hawthorn Mall and Circus Vazquez with a request for a special event, namely a circus. The event would be from May 2nd to May 12th. There's additional details. I'll let the circus explain the plan. Just one quick note on the staff report and the resolution itself. There are several conditions included in the resolution that are described in the staff memo. Configuration to match the site plan. Event organizers are responsible for ensuring that they have the proper health permits. Coordination with the Vernon Hills Police Department regarding staffing if needed. And then I just want to briefly touch on number 4, which relates to the maximum attendance. I have spoken with the representatives for the circus, and the maximum attendance of 800 at any event was intended by me to give them some breathing room over the projected attendance of up to 600. The tent itself does hold substantially more people than that, and they do have access to overflow parking on the mall property. So we've received that. The only condition that I would then recommend is subject to the fire marshal's review. So if the board is in favor of this event, I would recommend adjusting this condition to only refer to the fire marshal's review and not to the attendance. They do have adequate parking available to hold a bigger capacity. With that, I would like to introduce Mr. De La Garza, who can speak for Circus Vazquez.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Thank you for allowing me here today to speak to you all about bringing our family circus over to the Hawthorn Mall. Our circus originated in Mexico City in 1969.
And if you could identify both of you for our
sorry.
review.
Tom.
I'm from Hawthorn Mall. I'm the senior
Yeah.
facility manager, Tom Sheehy. I'm here to support Mr. Vazquez here. So if there's any questions related to the mall, I'm here to answer and support.
Yeah, we just always get names on the record, so.
Yes, sir. So as I was saying, our circus is originated out of Mexico City, and it opened up back in 1969 by two brothers. They grew and they have families, so their children actually brought the circus over into the United States in 1993, and we're now based here out of Texas with our Circus Vazquez, and we do have a second tent called Flip Circus. And what this show is, it's an art-based show. There's no animals. It's straight artists from around the world. You have acrobats, clowns. You have a live orchestra within the tent. You know, your ringmaster, jugglist, contortionist. So it's a really neat family event, family show. And here in the Chicago area, it's actually been performing for about 21 years within the city of Chicago, in places like Gurnee, Illinois, Schaumburg, Illinois, Lombard. We'll be going to Aurora, Illinois this year. So it's an event that's been here in the Chicagoland area for many years. And, you know, for years we've been discussing with Hawthorn Mall and trying to work out some timing. And we feel that the community here would really benefit from a really nice family event as this one. Like I said, it's somewhere where your kids don't go alone. This is you know, your parents come and, you know, you bring the children or grandparents and their grandchildren. So it's a family event, a ticketed sit-down event. So there's no loitering, there's no hanging around. You come in, you watch the show for 2 hours, and it's like a movie, you know, or a theater show, and you leave and you go home. So it's a really nice, controlled family environment.
Okay. Comments or questions from the board? And again, no animals involved in the circus, because that's one of the first complaints we get sometimes. but,
How much are tickets roughly?
Tickets range from $20 all the way up to $85 if you want the front row seating.
And I'm just curious, are you the circus that's been here in the past?
Not in Hawthorne, this is our first time.
Gurnee, I believe, is what was mentioned. Is that
Gurnee,
correct?
Illinois, and in Schaumburg, Woodfield Mall, we do that for the past 6 years.
Oh, last year at Schaumburg?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a big, I don't know if you saw the
It's
big
out
white
there,
and blue
yeah.
tent. Yeah, that's yes, ma'am.
Are the participants in the show, do they live, like, where do they reside, on site or
Yes, sir. So
night?
if you look at the site plan there, and just to clarify, that red line around the whole perimeter there, that is an 8-foot privacy fence.
So is there like trailers around, oh, the RVs?
Yeah,
okay. so
Correct,
they're-
yeah, all the artists, you know, in our staff.
Okay,
they back-
so there's people in the area overnight for
Yes.
security too? Just want to keep everything safe there. too.
Correct, and we have a security guard, and we have actually security personnel that travels with the circus. We have someone 24 hours, and then 30 minutes prior to the show and 1 hour afterwards, we have 2 security guards inside the tent. And we also have certified crowd managers that go to the Fire Marshal Association, and they're also part of the staff as well.
And I'm just curious, during those dates, are the shows during the day and at night? Or,
Monday to Friday, we have a show from 7 to 9 p.m. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we have one at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 1, 4, and 7.
Any other comments, questions, anything from staff? Yeah, go ahead,
is,
trustee Forster.
actually, one more question. Is all your staff then your staff, or are you looking for part-time help from residents?
So our staff does travel. It's like a family, so they've been with us for many years. So the artists are part of the show. So occasionally we do hire someone that'll, you know, a couple of people that will work for the box office. And of course, we hire local, you know, companies for portable toilets, for the, you know, trash dumpsters. Any sort of extra work that we need, we hire locally, as well as buy locally for the concessions. You know, as well.
Okay. Is there any other comments or questions? If there aren't any, is there a motion to approve Resolution 2025-011?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion a second. Last call for questions or concerns?
And that would be with the new condition as stated by Director Jennings,
Yes. Yes, thank
The
you.
fire marshal, that's right.
with the fire, requiring fire marshal approval.
Right.
Correct.
First and second both agree with that, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, then roll call, please.
Trustee Schenk?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Aye.
Trustee Forster?
Aye.
President Byrne?
Aye.
Chairman Pro Tem Cook?
Aye. Motion carries. Okay?
Thank you.
Looking forward.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good evening.
Okay. Any communications anybody wishes to share with?
Is that okay? Okay. So I'm just going to share an email from the principal of Vernon Hills High School, Dr. G. There was a loss in the Vernon Hills High School family this week. Coach Bill Monroe. Coach Monroe this is from Dr. G's email that I'm going to read. Coach Monroe has been a valued member of the Vernon Hills, It is with a heavy heart that we share news with you about the sudden passing late Friday night of the Vernon Hills staff member and coach, Bill Monroe, following an accident at his home. Coach Monroe has been a valued member of the Vernon Hills High School community for over a decade, most recently serving as an instructional aide in the Vernon Hills High School Physical Welfare Department. Undoubtedly, your student most likely knows Coach Monroe through their PE class as he tended to the locker room area. In addition to his classroom work, he coached boys bowling and boys and girls tennis. Coach Monroe had a kind heart, always willing to help and support any way he could. He loved his work at Vernon Hills High School. He was a true Cougar who will be deeply missed. Our hearts and our sympathies go out to Coach Monroe and his family, to his families. It was a very tough loss.
Yeah. Yes. Very much so. Then also heard that you had, on a higher note, quite a celebration with the seniors for St. Patrick's Day.
Absolutely. If Mike can put up the picture to set the tone. So as the community is aware, this village board provides funding for the Vernon Hills Seniors Organization. And earlier today, the group held their annual St. Patrick's Day party and lunch. As we can see from some of the images on the village Facebook page, participation in programming continues to grow and was very high today. And the seniors continue to be very grateful for the recent board-approved funding in their programming. These gatherings also serve as an opportunity for our independent living seniors to receive updates from village staff. Some of the programming that's coming next month includes members from Public Works presenting on the topic of sustainability and some of their initiatives to include Harvey Lake. I believe there will also be an opportunity where native plants are again provided to be placed throughout the community. And then in May, as we approach banner season, Trustee Cook gave a presentation at a recent seniors gathering talking about our military banner program. One of our own seniors will be recognized, along with 3 children who grew up in this community, went to Vernon Hills High School, and are all currently serving. So out of that organization, we'll have 4 banner recipients, and I believe our total is now up to 18, with about 2 months to go, funding for 20. So that'll be coming up in May. So again, on behalf of the seniors, they expressed their gratitude and appreciation for the funding of their programming.
Okay, right. Looks like a good event.
It was a great event, yeah.
Yeah.
Corned beef hash, or the corned beef and cabbage was good.
Good. Any other communications? Okay, then is there a motion to adjourn and go to the Committee of the Whole?
Motion to adjourn and go to Committee of the Whole.
Second?
Okay, motion a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, meeting's adjourned, and we'll go to Committee of the Whole.
Okay, I'd like to call to order the Committee of the Whole meeting for March 18th, 2025. May I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Schenk?
Here.
Trustee Forster?
Here.
Trustee Markwart?
Here.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Here.
Trustee Cook?
Here?
President Byrne?
Here.
Is there a motion to appoint the chairman pro tem for this evening's committee meeting?
I'd like to nominate Trustee Cook to be Chairman Pro Tem for the duration of the meeting.
Second?
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schenk?
Aye.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Aye.
Trustee Forster?
Aye.
President Byrne?
Aye.
And Trustee Cook?
Aye. Motion carries. First item of business is approval of the Committee of the Whole meeting minutes of March 4th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion a second. Any comments, questions, corrections, additions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Forster?
Aye.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schenk?
Aye.
President Byrne?
Aye.
Chairman Pro Tem Cook?
Aye. Motion carries. First item of business is the discussion of liquor code amendment related to spirits sold at an automotive service station. Director Jennings?
Thank you. During a recent Liquor and License Commission meeting, one of the applicants, specifically the new operator of the Shell gas station convenience store on Milwaukee by Ernie's, had requested consideration to allow hard liquor sales at a gas station. Our current practice is to limit liquor sales to beer and wine only at gas stations. The commission at that time did express some concern over a full Class B liquor license, and the general consensus was that a modification of the Class N license where the total square footage of hard liquor could be limited and the location of the liquor display could be limited. Something more along that line might be more acceptable. So I have drafted a potential amendment that would take the Class N license. There's a couple of different options to do this, but the one that's drafted in the staff memo would take the existing Class N license language and modify it very slightly to remove the reference to fuel sales. And then the restriction on the total square footage of alcohol, instead of it just limiting all alcohol, it would be specific to hard liquor. So beer and wine could still be on display in the store in general, and the square footage limit and location limit would apply specifically to hard liquor. So this version, one option for consideration would be to just approve this, and the Class N would be something like this. There are other options that would be to create like a subclass, Class N1, or an entirely different class. But this general text is what I suggested based off of what the discussion was at the liquor control meeting.
And again, the biggest difference between this and what we've used for current convenience store type?
So convenience store with fuel sales has been beer and wine only. And then convenience store without fuel sales had a very strict limit of all liquor, so beer, wine, and hard spirits at a convenience store without fuel sales had to be in an area that was essentially 60 total square feet behind the counter.
Okay.
So what this would do is the beer and wine would remain exactly as it is at the existing stores, but they would have the opportunity to apply for a license that would allow limited hard liquor behind the counter.
Okay. Comments or questions from the board?
Why are we segregating fuel versus non-fuel?
Right now, there are no Class N licenses out there. So one of the options would be to just take the Class N license and just remove the reference to fuel sales altogether. And that's what was in the memo. So if you wanted to keep another fuel versus non-fuel, you could keep the N as is and take a different route. But this would, as it's drafted, this here would eliminate that altogether. Right.
Do you know why that was done in the first place?
I would imagine that years ago that it was pretty common for municipality to try to limit alcohol sales at gas stations. So I would imagine that was probably the reason. And our gas stations have had the ability to sell beer and wine for quite some time, but not hard liquor.
And they can sell throughout, if there are 24 hours, they can sell 24 hours? The license allows that?
There's a 2 a.m. limit, I believe, on alcohol sales.
Who enforces that?
It's supposed to lock out on the register, and we can enforce on a complaint basis.
And that was something that was true also with the convenience stores, like?
Yes, their hours of
had several
operation
of
are
them,
limited, correct.
Is there a size amount, like volume of hard liquor? Like they can have a 1.75 being sold at a gas station, or is it?
Not that I know of. I think it's just the total display area. So it's the number of shelves and the size of those shelves.
Yeah, I think it's smaller because you can sell more.
But it's all
instead of a big bottle.
based on shelf surface square
Yeah.
area.
Other comments or questions from the board? Anything from staff regarding this? Anybody have any concerns of that? Okay. Then, all you're looking for is consensus on this?
What I'd be looking for is consensus on this. So if as drafted, just taking the in and modifying it for this purpose would be acceptable, what I would do is I would draft it in ordinance form, and I would have the applicant who had requested it appear for the Liquor and License Commission again to make a specific request for the new in pending approval of the in.
Okay. So, trustee Schenk? Good minutes?
Yeah.
Trustee Markwart?
Yes.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Yes.
Trustee Forster?
Yes.
Mayor Byrne, you're good with this going forward?
You know, let me ask the question. The actual location of the alcohol, for example, is usually behind the counter.
And that is correct.
Yeah, this would prove, this
Now,
would, yeah, this would require it to be behind the counter, correct?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yes.
For the hard liquor
Okay.
and spirit.
For hard
And this
liquor.
is at Ernie's Convenience.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So then you're in agreement with it going forward, correct?
Yeah, I'm okay, sure, yeah.
Okay, okay. All right,
Okay.
Thank you.
okay,
Thank you.
all right. Next item is the continuation of the 2026 budget presentation.
I see all of our students are leaving as soon as we
Let them escape.
begin budget discussions.
Yeah, hey, I don't blame him, I wouldn't stay either.
Does anybody want to stay around?
The only thing worse than a budget presentation is a 1-hour presentation on zoning, you know? It's like,
I thought it was fascinating. Riveting, even.
I would have liked it.
Was that when you practiced in the front of the mirror before you got here too? Like, I'm going to kill this.
Okay, well, tonight we will have a continuation of our discussion on the proposed budget for fiscal year 2026, which begins on May 1st, 2025. As you know, we actually covered most of the budget at our last meeting on March 4th. So this evening, all we have in the docket is a review of the golf course proposed budget for fiscal year 2026. As a refresher for our next steps, we will have our budget hearing for the fiscal year 2026 budget scheduled for our next board meeting, which, as a reminder, is March 31st on a Monday, in accordance with the election the following day on Tuesday, April 1st. So next board meeting, March 31st, our public hearing on the proposed budget. We are then scheduled to have the approval of the final budget at our board meeting on April 15th, and then again our fiscal year commencing on May 1st. At this time, I'd like to introduce our team from Kemper Sports to present the golf course budget.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. Glad to be back in front of everybody, and golf is officially in full swing once again. The Muni was packed last weekend, which was great to see. I know we've met everybody before, but Vince Juarez with Kemper Sports, we've got Mary Kate Walsh with the Regional Sales and Marketing Director with Kemper Sports, and Kevin Lind, our General Manager at the Muni. So we're going to go over your 2025 year in review, kind of at a high level, and then get right into FY26, and then conclude with a little bit about marketing. So just some highlights from FY25. We instituted dynamic pricing. We had, obviously long discussions about pricing, instituted dynamic pricing for non-residents at the Muni. That was obviously enacted with the intention of growing revenue. One of the benefits of dynamic pricing is if for some reason rounds decline, pricing would still obviously or revenue would still go up. Unfortunately, that did happen in FY25, where we're predicting that rounds will drop about 3% year over year, but green fee revenue is going to be up about 9% year over year. So the dynamic pricing is working, it is doing its job, and we continue to monitor it on a daily and weekly basis. Membership retention is strong. We were affected by weather storms in July and August. of 2024, which impacts the 2025 revenue. So the fact that green fee revenue is still going to be up about 9% is great. We had several F&B enhancements. We had the Turbo Chef added. We had the new menu developed in FY '25 as well. We went through some facility construction. Everybody's aware that we built the short game area, which will launch here at the end of April in 2025, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the presentation. And then we've got one thing that I wanted to bring to the board's attention is our surveys. I know Trustee Cook is aware of the surveys. All the golfers receive a survey when they're done playing golf. Ask them a couple questions very similar to a hotel or Starbucks or anything like that. And we reported an NPS for 2024 of 64.6. NPS is a net promoter score, how likely somebody is to recommend your business to somebody else. Our company goal is 70.0. And I always like to explain it of you've got your Disneys and your Amazons, which are typically in the 90s. I always say if somebody has a bad time at Disney, they did it to themselves. There's always somebody there to hand out a sticker or to talk to a child that might be crying at Disney. At Amazon, obviously, they're known for delivering that product the next day when you need it the most. So they're typically in the 90s on an NPS. And then you've got some of your other companies, typically utility companies or cell phone companies that are typically in the teens on NPS. So once again, our company goal is 70.0. We're at 64.6 year to date through 2024. We also measure a lot of different things like retention, experience satisfaction, service satisfaction, food and beverage ratings. We go all the way down and drill all the way down to guest check-in and so forth. I added a couple of charts as to where we're at. These are on a 10-point scale. Retention was 9.2 for 2024. Experience satisfaction 8.9. Service 9.3. And food and beverage 9.8. So strong scores, obviously always looking for continuous improvement. We go over these scores with John, and we've gone through some of them with Kevin in the past, and continue to report on them. So I'm going to turn it over to Kevin, who's going to talk a little bit about gaps and go through the financials.
Thank you, Vince. So looking back at fiscal year 2025, we definitely have some room for some food and beverage growth. That's going to come along with, the Turbo Chef, getting some more items in for that, and also promoting the ones that are popular and kind of almost eliminating the ones that aren't selling and find something else. Obviously, we have limited space, cooler-wise, as far as holding products, so we want to have basically our top sellers available for everyone. Looking to add some new items for 2026 with breakfast foods, breakfast sandwiches, donuts on Saturday and Sunday morning from a local bakery that we can bring in to sell.
And coffee.
Coffee. Also, with our junior camps, definitely more of a robust options of chips, candy, etc., which all have the food and beverage numbers going forward with that. Something to keep in mind, when we do run out of room for parties, that does not hit our food and beverage line item. That goes into our admin category, so even though it's showing we have parties, but that's hitting a different revenue item going forward. And then also, we're going to look into add some more non-golf events in fiscal year 2026.
So before Kevin goes into the FY '25 financials, I think the board was given some original projections. We've revised some of those projections just based on the current market, and so I think there's a difference about $9,000 along the way, or $900 along the way. 900, yep. But these are the revised projections. Go ahead, Kevin.
So looking at our projection of revenue of $532,433, showing a growth over the past years. Payroll, our budgeted revenue for this fiscal year was $563, so projected coming a little bit down in total revenue, but we were able to cut down on some payroll expenses by watching hours, cross-training employees, having them do multiple jobs, and also watching our operating expenses, leaving us basically at an EBITDA of minus $11,663. Net operating loss of $59,663, which is better than fiscal year '24, which was record revenues. So it's all about just basically managing our expenses according to what our revenues are coming in.
It says net income 717,937.
Yeah, there was, I think, Tom, if you want to correct me,
Yeah.
there was a transfer in.
So, yeah, when we run through the operations, Vince and Kevin are really covering just the operating portion there. There's some non-operating items which we had a general fund subsidy of $760,000, if you do remember that, was to fund capital, past capital, as well as the short game putting green. So, yeah, the net income is just the increase in the net position.
And then here we look at our property and brand overview. This is typically one of the introductory slides we include in our annual marketing plan. So this looks at the vision of the facility, the brand positioning statement, and the tagline. I always love the tagline, "There's always time for 9," at Vernon Hills, at the Muni. So these are just meant to help guide our marketing efforts as we plan for the year, as we promote on social media and email.
Before Kevin gets into the FY '26 budget as a whole, just wanted to kind of go through some budget assumptions that we made. Dynamic pricing across all segments. We updated our banquet guide and food and beverage opportunities in this budget. We did some F&B pricing modifications built in. Obviously, the additional internal programming, we have a mock calendar, a draft calendar Kevin's been working on, and Mary Kate's been working on the marketing components to increase the number of community events that are held, increase the number of Nine and Wines, increase the number of internal tournaments, the music music at the Muni, the number of bingo nights, etc., to have a more robust calendar in opening of the short game and really promoting the clubhouse at the Muni. So that'll be launching with Kevin and Mary Kate's assistance on the marketing side. And then, of course, we're launching our teaching and learning program with the Chicago School of Golf. That's been online. We've been marketing that. An update will be coming shortly on where that sits, but I believe their initial spring programming has sold out, and they're going to get ready to launch another couple hours of the programming, because they do it by hour and number of students. So it's been great. I'll turn over to Kevin.
Okay, so for fiscal year 2026, we are looking to obviously increase revenue across all categories, some more than others, especially with admin pushing passes, and especially when we spoke earlier about room rentals that fall in that category, renting out the restaurant area for parties. I've had quite a few inquiries, and I do have 9 parties booked between April and June as of now, with the phone still ringing, which will help across all segments. Looking towards staffing, projected a little bit higher than where we were at fiscal year '25, and I can get into that a little bit when we talk about payroll. A lot of that is just minimum wage increase. Overall, we're looking for an EBITDA of negative $26,427 and a net operating loss of $76,427.
And I think the call out there is we do take on some village staffing that's above EBITDA, just an allocation of staffing on the village side. Operationally, it's a positive for us. This budget was built on a conservative basis before we really knew what we were going into with the Chicago School of Golf, and before we lumped in some of the additional programming. So confident that we can hit these numbers, most likely, and fairly confident that they will improve from this position.
What's the, couple questions. Tom, what are we depreciating, the golf carts?
Yeah, so you can see the depreciation's kind of creeped up over the last couple of years. We did replace the golf carts in the last couple of years, the whole fleet. There's been a few new mowers. We have the putting green. Now, the whole green is not depreciated, but
Is that depreciable?
There are several aspects of it, the whatever drainage and whatnot they put in.
Is that in this 50,000, or is that going to be somewhere else?
No, that'll be in the 50,000. Yeah, so the capital cost is down. The capital cost you saw on the projected 25, that just kind of identifies how much we're going to outlay for the year, but it's actually expense through depreciation over the years. So that includes several new mowers, the whole fleet of golf carts.
Is it 5? How many years on equipment? 5 years or 15?
Depends what it is.
Right.
Several of the mowers, and Vince, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're like that 7 to 10 year range.
Correct.
And then there's some smaller equipment, and we just replaced some fencing, some sprinkler systems, so those are probably in that 10-year range.
Okay, thank you. And then, so I'm looking at the fiscal year 2026, other operating excluding depreciation. So we're going from 221 to 251. Where is that gap? And that's not in, obviously, payroll. So it's the other operating excluding depreciation, 251,806. You had it. No, that, oh, okay.
So
Is this
that
it here?
gap, as we continue to raise green fees, customer expectation goes up as well. We've had some people looking for some things done on the golf course that we're going to address. Top dressings, leveling out some tee boxes,
Additional
fertilizers
sand.
for the new putting green and the golf course as a whole. We're going to put down an app shortly that's going to prevent crabgrass from taking over some of our fairways.
Do you
we have
not,
some issues with.
is this but how much of this is additional than previous years? I'm assuming you have to take, like crabgrass, you got to take care of, I'm assuming you have to take care of each year over year. So the $30,000 increase is,
Yes, some of this is going to be reoccurring, but there's also some expenses built in for us to buy some new water coolers for the golf course, to update some stuff in the restaurant that once we buy it this year, it's not going to be replaced the following year.
I would estimate it to be about 15,000 in one-time costs in FY '26 versus reoccurring, so about 12,000 in reoccurring.
So we're showing payroll going up, 8,000 of that is due to minimum wage, and then 6,000 for merit raises for my staff that have been there throughout the years. Also, as payroll, as we start doing some more events, we're going to be extending our hours. So payroll for the restaurant is going to go up just based on if we're doing a trivia night that runs till 10 o'clock when we're normally closed by 8:30. So just additional payroll on that.
with your food and beverage. So
Right, which we hope.
Correct.
Right.
Well, and we're starting to see as that group that's starting to come occasionally on Friday nights, this past Friday night, a group from basically this neighborhood had a very large party there
They were
on Friday
two
night.
separate groups.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of them are from that same group of people that live in the neighborhood and it's starting to get more use from those people, which is a good thing.
What's your food and beverage cost? What's your food cost? What's your beverage cost? Would you say?
Beverage costs were probably at about 33%. Food costs were closer to that 40% just with waste. As far as buying stuff where, I bring in prepackaged that I have to get rid of after X amount of days.
How often do you guys look at price increases for food and beverage?
We've been looking at it quarterly, and anytime we do a price increase or recommend a price increase, we certainly discuss it with Kevin and John before we enact any particular increases, because it's a sensitive topic. And we update our food costs and our inventory system on a monthly basis to make sure that we're accurately reflecting the inventory and the cost of goods sold is correct.
Are you just inventorying once a month, or are you guys doing weekly? How do you?
We do monthly.
You do monthly. What kind of slippage do you see, or variance?
Slippage is minimal, 3 to 4%. I do also keep track though of what I basically have to dispose of based as waste.
Most of it is waste.
Correct. As some stuff that we pull out, has a 4-day shelf life. If we don't sell it, can't sell it. So
You don't allow like bar tabs there, do you?
I'm sorry?
Do you allow resident or visitors have a bar tab, like an extended bar tab, like a month?
No.
It's cash out is okay.
Cash out that day.
Has there been any feedback regarding the dynamic pricing?
I've had some questions. Basically, our first day that would really kind of get kicked in was this past Friday, and with it being so warm, people were just happy to be out, so questions were minimal. I can say that we were pushing towards the upper end of our price range at certain times of the day, especially later in the afternoon. So, and we had 185 rounds that day, so we were full. So that price increase was not wasn't affecting the golfers coming out that day.
The new hot topic in the golf industry is the sales and use tax on leased products. You know, if you follow the online blogs or the online Facebook pages, I just read one recently where somebody was going to walk because they didn't want to pay the 7% use tax. In a nutshell, golf carts, rental clubs, pull carts, they're now taxable in the state of Illinois. They never were in years past, but now they are taxable. So everybody's used to dynamic pricing. Most of the people are used to dynamic pricing. They just, airline tickets, hotels, you know, they just, at this point, it's almost a given.
Capital requests, obviously we've had quite a few upgrades to our facility over the last few years, so our capital requests are very minimal this year. Looking to get some new outdoor patio furniture to put out in the patio, especially to work around the entire patio where parents can sit out there and watch the kids out on the short game area. And then replacing the canopy that is starting to pull away from the building and wear out a little bit.
So some upcoming things, working with Chris on the signage for the back nine at the Muni. The name of the short game facility, we'll refer to it as the back nine. I think it's fitting considering we're a 9-hole golf course. So Chris and I are working on the signage. The grand opening is set for April the 29th at 4 o'clock. Right now we're developing the email invitation. Mary Kate's working on the email invitation. She'll be working with John and the village on that. We'll handle the list for media, the list of attendees from KSM, and we'll work with village staff on the list of attendees from the village for the ribbon cutting and the grand opening. So you can expect to see some information coming down your pipeline rather quickly on that. So if you don't have it held in your calendars, we'd love to have everybody there April 29th at 4 o'clock. And then our summer camps, I just included a Facebook post from Vernon Hills Golf Course for the Chicago School of Golf. I've been in touch with Chicago School of Golf almost on a weekly basis. They're very pleased with signups. They've got some programs over at, I want to say, Buffalo Grove. They've got programs here. They've got programs in the city. Great group to work with, and they'll be supplying the instructors for the Muni.
Okay, this is our fun last slide here. So I wanted to just showcase at a very high level our marketing strategies and tactics for the year. So the way we look at it is we split them into internal, paid digital, and advertising and promotion. So one of the things that we just saw on the previous slide, internals, that was a social media post. So that's our organic efforts to drive revenue at the facility in all segments, golf, food and beverage, junior programming, what have you. Also included in this is Kemper Sports Initiatives. So in the next month, you will see Frequent Fairways launched again, which is our Kemper Sports Chicagoland loyalty program. We actually just had a team-wide training on it today, so we're very excited to roll that out. Paid digital, this will be something that's new for the Muni as well. So we're looking at pay-per-click, so golf courses near me on Google, some paid social media, and then targeted display. So we've seen some really good success with these campaigns at other municipal golf courses, so we're excited to unveil those here. And then finally, advertising and promotion. So as part of the Frequent Fairways program, we do get a couple paid ads in the Chicago District Golfer magazine, so if anyone has a handicap through the CDGA, you would see Vernon Hills in there along with other facilities. Additional Kemper Sports advertisements on social media, and then the digital board through the village.
We'll pause and take any additional questions you might have.
Yeah, when you were talking about signage, we talked earlier about the fact that right now, currently, the only sign we have on 45 is that one at the very west end of the property.
And it's not.
And it's not, really visible in that. And we talked earlier about the fact that now that we've improved that, when you come over the railroad tracks headed east, you get that incredible view of the new practice facility and the first tee box and the first fairway.
Big west.
West.
When you're, I'm sorry.
Heading west.
Heading
east.
Just coming over the railroad tracks.
Well, yeah, as you're coming up to the tracks, come over the tracks looking.
Either way, going to
I know what
east
you're
or
saying.
west.
Looking towards Lincolnshire, whichever direction that is. But the problem is, as you're going toward Mundelein on 45, you don't see as much of the golf course. You see the building and a little bit of the practice area. But as you are headed towards Lincolnshire on 45, you get that incredible new vista of the practice area and the whole first fairway and that. And we had talked about the potential of maybe putting some kind of sign near the first tee that faces toward Mundelein and would be maybe even put a little tagline on there. You just missed it. Go back a light.
Yeah, you need one of those like on
Yeah,
roads,
yeah.
turn
yeah,
around. You just
yeah,
pass.
Yeah,
the
you just missed the entrance for
right,
this.
on
Go
one
back a
side,
light.
Turn around, make a left.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we use our property here at Village Hall too, or no, for signage?
I don't know if
as they're coming.
Chris and I can work on that with John and see what we can come up with. I'm going to volunteer as Chris.
And again, I was bringing up lighting. There is no lighting on this sign. I don't know what you can do, but you could also do solar. I don't know.
Well, with not being open at night, I don't know.
Well, but you're still getting the point
and still
of
have the
advertising it.
yeah, especially for the clubhouse. Yeah.
And that kind of ties into what I'd like to bring up is security. Last year, White Deer Run had some vandals that tore up greens up there, and having lighting. I'm not sure how how we can view that. Deputy Chief Selak, I think we need to. Do you guys have security cameras currently anywhere in the building? I think it's something that maybe we look into. Mostly, not you could have you can have signs and under video surveillance, and then some lighting, because all it takes is a couple vandals to really mess that up. It's a big investment. I think we should have some kind of, and then at the end of the day too, if it's lit and we have events out there, who doesn't not like to putt at night, night putting, right?
I'm not aware of as many incidents of vandalism on that golf course. It doesn't certainly cover the same amount of acreage, and there's not the access that there is to a White Deer Run. But
I looked at go ahead.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
It's looked at as an opportunity to mess around.
Mm-hmm.
And
no, I agree with you, and I think that's something that can be looked at, and then we can take some measures to prevent that from occurring.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, and the season's off to a good start.
We're cranking.
We had the craziest thing is we had the Shamrock Shootout on Saturday and got 2 inches of snow on Sunday, so it was the timing was perfect.
I would have preferred it Sunday and back the course Saturday, but it's all good.
Yeah, no, but it was we had how many teams did we finally wind up with? About 12 or 13, and it was a great event.
I'm thinking, you got to talk to me about marketing. I've got all these night putting. Get a picture of Ty Webb. You can have your best Caddyshack look. Coming for the putting events at night. Think about it. They're just rolling. They're just rolling.
An idea, man.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
In regards to the events, the 2025 events, I'm just curious, are these, the ones you've listed, obviously some of the golf function scrambles are probably secured. Are the trivia nights, music night at the Muni, are those real things or things you're hoping to have?
Those are real things, and 90% of the music nights are set. I'm looking for one more band. Trivia nights, we're going to have two options where I'm working either work with a company that we're going to pay to come out and do trivia night, or my staff's going to do trivia night for them to save a little bit of money going forward. Trivia nights we're not going to have start until a little bit later in the season, basically August, June, July, May, June, July, just with the amount of golfers sitting in there. August is good because we have the girls golf team that comes out, so our afternoon play is limited, so that's going to drive in people to come out, at least to come in there and sit, as opposed to having nobody in there because it's just a golf team out there practicing at night.
The events are set. Some of the dates might change, but the events, this will be the minimum.
I just didn't know if this was a nice to have or you're really doing it. The other thing is you talked about for marketing, obviously you're doing Facebook and social and all that, and then you had collateral. I assume that's in-house collateral and cross-promotion?
Flyers for the event, yep.
And I would also encourage you, as as Kevin knows, I'm a frequent bingo participant and winner, I'd like to say. And I think some of your audience, yes, if I do say so myself. Also, I think some of your audiences will cross events. You know, your trivia and your bingo is kind of similar. So I think there's maybe a little bit of an opportunity on the tables to cross-promote these events and have flyers and take ones and all of that. QR codes or something to sign up if that's what you need, something to take.
Yep, we'll do that in our digital efforts as well. We've done that at other courses to
Yeah.
include the calendar of events in addition to promoting golf, so it's a holistic one.
Yeah, and I think at the events, have the people announcing, and the next event is, you know, that kind of audience. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is that it for this evening?
That's it
then?
for this evening. We do have a closed session, topics land acquisition and personnel.
Land acquisition and personnel. Is there a motion to adjourn the committee of the whole and go into closed session for land acquisition and personnel?
Motion to adjourn to go into closed session.
Second.
Motion a second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Forster?
Aye.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Aye.
Trustee Markwart?
Aye.
Trustee Schenk?
Aye.
President Byrne?
Aye.
Chairman Pro Tem Cook?
Aye. Motion carries. We are adjourned and we'll be conducting no other business tonight.